Okay, hello. It's been a while since I've done a video. I wanted to come and, one big thing I want to say here is that doing videos, it's just me sharing my life. Like, it's just me sharing things. I'm not trying to teach anything or how do you say it? I'm not trying to tell anyone to be or do or think or believe me in any way. This is just me sharing what I'm learning in my life and just what I'm learning and how I'm growing. And so it's just me sharing experiences. Okay, so there's one thing I wanted to share. This actually has been coming up for years in God teaching me these things. Okay, so this isn't just I heard something. This is like for years. Karen, see this. Karen, notice this. And I'm talking about sheesh. Even things I was being shown 5, 7, maybe even closer to 10 years ago, but I didn't fully understand what I was being shown, kind of taught, because I had a limiting belief system back then. At least more limiting, right? I've kind of opened up to God teaching me things and to being wrong. I've opened up to being totally wrong about something because I used to think I knew everything. So this is a culmination of things I've seen, heard, and I myself have taken to God. Because if you hear something, you can hear someone talk about something. It doesn't really mean anything until you yourself get your own answers, right? You have to go to God and get your own truth, within. You can't just believe people. I've learned that. I used to blindly believe a lot of people, and a lot of things I used to believe were wrong. They turned out to be untrue. A lot of good stuff too, but so in this video, I wanted to talk just a bit about, let me preface this with, this will probably be a very unpopular video. Let's just say that. This probably will be very unpopular. And it's okay. Just turn it off if you're like, whoa, not going there. I get it. I totally get it. But I wanted to talk just a bit about creation energy and about our senses and our sense pleasures and things that happen in spirit when we are partaking of the sense pleasures and different things. So, one thing that God has taught me, and this is just so crazy, guys. When this was coming through, I was like, whoa, because I heard this person, that person, this person. I found a lot of other people. So I was already be given things, and then I saw them teaching this and them teaching that, and I was like, oh my goodness. So God was like, look, see, and he started tying together things that he had been showing me before. And this was like boom. Well, okay. So I'm just telling you what I've kind of learned. So I'm going to focus on the male side because it's easier to conceptualize materially. Okay? The women have the same thing, but it's harder to conceptualize because of just men have it more on the outside, whereas women, it's more on the inside. So when you have, in a man, you have creation energy. Okay, and I'm talking about that makes a baby. Okay, so the light and the creation energy that comes out of the man and goes into the woman to make the baby, right? This is so powerful. Okay, we don't think of this as powerful. We don't look at this as God's creation, pure. It is so powerful. It brings a spirit in from spirit realm and creates a child. Guys, that is really, really powerful. In our world, we don't look at it as so amazing. It really is so, so, so amazing. To bring a child into the world, because we're so used to it, we're like, oh, you're pregnant, congratulations. No, guys, the power to bring a spirit from spirit realm into a human body, like to create an entirely new life. I mean, the spirit's not new, but to create this new life and bring it into the world, a human being that grows up. And like, this is very, very powerful. So we're just looking at the man side, right? This creation energy, right? This is so powerful. It brings a spirit into the world, a human life, like creation. I don't have better words for this. God's perfect, pure creation energy. When this comes out and makes a child, right? So you got husband, wife, and you make a child. That's how powerful and how sacred, how like special and like woo. Okay. Well, when this creation energy comes out for fun, okay, so a man releases just for fun, for pleasure, right? And it doesn't go to the creating of a child. That energy, how do I say this? This is kind of crazy. That energy is, that pure creation energy is released into kind of, you could say astral or spirit. Like it is still released. And since it did not funnel into the making of a child, it's energy. I don't know how to explain this. Imagine a booth of like light, pure light, creation energy. That is free for, fair game. I don't know how to say it. Fair game for dark spiritual beings that cannot make their own energy. They can come and use that. Like siphon it, suck it, eat it. It becomes like, it's disgusting, but it becomes like their food. Okay. So it wasn't funneled into the making of a child. It was just kind of for pleasure, for fun. And now, of course, I know a lot of people are going, whoa, you're, because I know a lot of people, this is like way beyond anything they could ever imagine. And here's the thing is, I'm not telling anybody to be or do anything. That's 100%. But I'm telling you some of the things God has taught me. So now some more information about this. So this perfect God creation energy, when that is in a person, okay, so we'll just stick with the male model because it's easier. So when that's in the male, when that is released, they lose that. So when that is released into the world and doesn't create a child, well, whether they create a child or not, they lose that. And their overall spirit decreases a little. So you age. Your spirit loses a little bit of light, just a little bit of light. And you literally age just a bit from that. Okay? Now, when there is someone who has chosen to, I want to overcome the passions of the flesh. When there's someone who's like, I want to maybe, let's just take a limited period of time, maybe a year. Maybe there's someone that's like, I want to overcome this. Let's just say a single person. It's easier to think of it that way. There's a single person who is like, I don't want to be sleeping around. I don't want to be releasing myself, right? And they're like, I want to be more pure, more chaste. They can, here's the thing, they can say, okay, I don't want to release this for the sake of physical pleasure, right? And so they're single, so they're like, I want to conserve this. When a person with God, and this is more than just not releasing for fun. This is more than just abstaining, but wanting, okay? Because there are people that are single that will not, that they have the moral principles of, I don't have sex with anybody. I'm single. I'm not going to sleep around, and I don't masturbate. So they're like, so there's I don't do that because that's my moral principles, but there's the desire to. So they want to, but they're not married. So they still want it, right? They're like, I want to get married so I can do this because our world is, guys, the material world we live in is so focused on material things and material pleasures, and like to spiritualize and to even say no to something like food. With fasting, to say no, like no to that food or whatever, or no to the sensual pleasures down there for even a period of time. That's really weird in our material world. It's just weird. Most people are like, that's weird. Have you seen the movies? It's one of the most fun things to do when you're married. But anyway, so the person that conserves this and says, no, I don't want to, but they actually have like a desire not to want. Okay. So we're moving from just, I cannot do it. I will not. My moral principles say, no, I don't do that, but I wish I could. Like, I wish I could. I want to. I want that. We're talking about someone who wants to conserve it, like, but also wants to release the desire for that. So someone that says, I don't want to crave or lust or even desire that. I want to be free from desire in my lower centers. That person saying that with God. Okay, so this is through prayer with God, and with Christ, saying, I want to be Christ-like, and I want to release this desire. That perfect, pure creation energy, which is so powerful that it makes a human being, that in the lower centers, it gets cycled back through, it gets pulled up from the lower centers. And I don't know how to say this. This is pretty crazy. I've had some visuals of this, which again is pretty crazy. It gets cycled back in, and the spirit becomes stronger. So instead of losing a little bit from making love for fun and releasing for fun, instead of losing that, you build up a bit. Okay? So every month that goes by, imagine this single man, he's really trying to become a holy, pure person like Jesus, really striving at this. That doesn't mean he can't get married in the future and have kids and everything. But in this moment, he has this year period where he's like, I'm going to do this. Every month that goes by, literally reabsorbing his own light. You could say God's light, really. Is it ours? Is it really ours? We say, well, it's mine. But reabsorbing this God light back into their life. Now, guys, there were multiple places this came into my life. I heard about this, and I never understood it. I wasn't ready for it. If you go read Napoleon Hill, he talks about transmutation of that energy. And at the time I was like, huh? What? That was like 10 years ago or more. I was not ready to hear that. Like, that doesn't make sense at all. But, so you will find a lot of different people in a lot of different religions teaching this same kind of purity, a purification. Okay. Now, as he takes and regenerates this pure creation energy, his light and his spirit grows. He reabsorbs. Like, all of it becomes reabsorbed. And I'm telling you guys, it doesn't come out at night, because the lustful thoughts aren't there. The cravey thoughts, the longing thoughts. He's working on that, this man in this scenario, and they're not there. You do not have nighttime release when it is reabsorbed and your spirit is getting brighter. Okay? So this man's spirit is growing in strength, and he is able to put that Christ-like perfect creation energy into his life, into serving, into, you could say, higher acts than just having fun. He's able to put it into life, right? And let's just say this man really wants to serve. And so he puts it into service for his fellow human beings, his fellow men, his family, his friends, his coworkers. And so can you see this has been such a huge thing. Again, this has been around for years, but I have been so hesitant to talk about this. And I've been afraid to talk about this because people are like, she's off her rocker. It's the same as telling somebody to stop eating food for 3 days. They're like, you're mad. But what's funny is if you look in the different religions, they all talk about it. Doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter which religion you're looking in. You will literally find these different principles of purification of the body. But so anyway, so this man conserving and reabsorbing his light, this God creation, he gets brighter and brighter and brighter. I want to give you a quick analogy that I heard. I heard a guy say, and I'm like, that's it. He hit the nail on the head. When you have a river, so you've got a little river running through the land, if you stop that river, okay, you stop up that river, it will build, right? The water and the energy of that river will build. And you could put a mill or a wheel, a water mill. Is that what it's called? Water mill? You literally now have that energy built up in that particular, that water. You have built up this, and now you have the energy. Like, it's like a higher energy. So instead of just a trickling little river, now it's this reservoir with this mill, or it could be all sorts of ways you use the water to power things, like this energy, right? Well, when you stop something like regular releasing of your creation energy, you build up that power. That power wells up inside of you as spiritual creation power, energy. And it becomes kind of a higher power. You are then able to put that into life. You are able to take that, and as a brighter person, you are actually able to help others more. You are able to serve more. And that for me has been like I've been having ding, look, ding, look, ding, look. Now, let me talk just a bit about when married couples. Now, again, I am not saying anybody needs to go be a celibate. That is not what I'm saying at all. I'm simply sharing some things I've learned, okay? Because let's be honest, most people are not ready for this. Most people would just be like, that's nice, lady, bye. And I totally get that. Just like with food, most people, the vast majority, do you know what percentage of people would not give up food for 24 hours? I mean, okay, let's say 3 days. The percentage of the American population that would give up food, maybe still drink water, because I know a lot of people are terrified to dry fast. And there's a lot of unknown, like, won't I die? So let's just say drink water, but stop eating food for 3 days. If I could know the percentage of the population that would never, ever do purification that deep, like, whoa, why would I give up food? So I totally get it. A lot of people are not ready for this. And this life may actually not be, this may not be the life where where what I'm talking about here ever becomes a thing, it may never need to be part of your life in this life. Again, like I say, we all have different missions, different things, blah, blah. But I'm just sharing some of the things I've learned. Another thing I want to share is so you've got a married couple, okay? You have a married couple and they have a date night or whatever, and they go and they make love for whatever, okay? Now they're not creating a child, okay? So in this instance, it's like a date night or something. When they do that, both the male and the female, both husband and wife, are releasing that creation energy. And because it is not funneled into making a child, it becomes food. It becomes for dark beings, because it's been puffed out into spirit astral plane, and they like steal it. They siphon it, suck it, steal it away. Now, so that alone is very dark and horrible to think about. It's like, oh my goodness. But here's another thing, and this needs to be thought about deeply, is, and guys, okay, let me finish this. So you've got this married couple having a date night, making love at the end, and that creation energy goes out and it becomes food for dark beings. Okay? In like spirit realm, in like astral plane. And when they do this, so when the husband and wife are in that place, there is an opening of their being a bit. You could say it's a very vulnerable stage, vulnerable period. And dark beings love this because they can more easily hook in. They hook in to the lower centers with various attachments and yucky things. Excuse me, there's a lot more to it than what I'm just saying. There's all types of lust demons. There's all types of dark, evil beings that completely take advantage of the opportunity of a man and a woman doing that. Okay? And it doesn't matter if you're married. Like, it doesn't matter if you're married, because there's kind of this thing where it's like, oh, we're married. So it's like this, it's a perfectly blessed union. That's not true. I will say, in worse circumstances, there are worse dark things. Yes. I mean, if you have a very horrible instance where, someone's getting raped, and there are worse dark beings that take advantage of worse situations. But, what I'm trying to say here is there is a real vulnerability when, and you could be the most amazing couple, reading your scriptures, praying, doing all these different things. There is still a real vulnerability, and it's kind of because of ignorance that you become vulnerable. And these dark beings, they love it. They love ignorance, because if people have no idea, they're like, oh, I'm safe. I'm fine. This is life. And I'm not kidding. Like it can become like a feeding frenzy for dark entities. Ugh. And they can attach to the lower centers, because in that moment they're opened. It's like it leaves this opening, a vulnerability in your spirit body, and they can hook in and attach in different ways. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about my own personal journey. So in my life, how do I say this? So in my life, I've always thought, like, after we got married, and we have 7 kids, and I always thought, until like the past 5 years, truly, little more. In my earlier life, I always thought that I had a higher sex drive than just regular women. And I was always kind of proud of that. Okay. And I used to think that, I don't know. It's so weird to talk about it. But, I guess I was just kind of proud of it because, I know I've talked to a lot of women through the years who just don't enjoy that. They don't like making love. And I always did. But let me tell you, and this is where it really hit home because God's like, look, okay, well, how do I say this? I don't have this laid out. There came a period in my life where God told me to fast, to dry fast. He told me like very clearly, I have other videos where I talk about this, but he told me, give me 10 days, right? Give me 10 days. I ended up doing 11, but he said, give me 10 days, no food, no water. And it took me a while to build up to that because I fasted for a couple days, then 3, and then I waited a while, then 3, 4, and then I finally got the guts up to go to 7 because August Dunning's teachings, how 7-day dry fast is like a total reset for your body. So once I had the knowledge of the science of 7 days dry fasting resets everything. I mean, your metabolism. You open up stem cells. You regenerate and bring in your adult stem cells in all the different niches. And it's like this huge, amazing thing. So I finally got the science that I got brave enough to go to 7. And then, cause I'm like, whoa, this is actually good for me. Like I knew God was right. So I got to 7 and then I eventually got to 9, then 10, 11. And, so anyway, I did all this fasting over a couple of year period, really. And I've really been fasting ever since, but there's been plenty of times I've taken big breaks, right? Where I want to do like a long one and then take like, depending on the year, 6 to 8 months, and then maybe another long one. So almost like a long one each year, maybe 2-ish, depending on the year. I'd have to look closely. I'd have to look back at all the ones I've done. But anyway, so there's this period of fasting where I fasted. Now, after these fasts, guys, like so much changed in me. So much, like I was like so deeply changed and purified. I don't know how to say this. That the longing or the desire to have any sexual, to make love, I don't know how to say this. It's like it was calmed. There was no more desire or longing down there. I didn't actually resonate with sexual pleasure anymore. And God has shown me that I had entities like lust and longing, and I had dark beings attached to me. And these aren't the biggest of dark attachments, not like demonic possession or anything, okay? Because there are big, dark demonic possession. There are evil people in this world. It wasn't like that at all. It was, the whisperings of, come on. So I had whatever various attachments to lust and longing in my earlier years of marriage, and they were just feeding off us. And God showed me this. I was like, and I had no idea. And the couple of years of fasting where I was really trying to get to 10, because God told me, give me 10. And I'm like, I 100% committed, like I'm obeying. God says this, and it was a really clear command. It wasn't a fuzzy, oh, that sounds fun. Nobody would do that if it was a fuzzy, It was a clear, one of those knowings where you just know, okay? And so after these years of purification, I did not have that desire anymore. And I don't know how to say this. It was like I had obtained this peace in my lower centers, a peace that I had never known. And also connected to the fasting was a peace in my gut. So when you come out of a longer fast, you don't crave anything. I mean, water sounds nice. and fruit. Like, I'm telling you, the cravings and the parasites in your gut that cause cravings, and the dark beings on the other side that we can't see, a lot of us can see, but the evil entities and things that mess with us, they want you to eat crap because you feel like crap, and they attach to you through the crap. And the craving for sugar and junky food, it's gone. Like when you come out of like a 7-day fast, or even shorter, like a 3-day dry fast, donuts are the last thing you would ever want to touch. It's almost like you can feel how disgusting. Like it just feels like I would never, I can't explain it until you've been there and you've felt that. So anyway, coming out of fasting, I had this peace in my lower centers. It was so perfect. And no more like, kind of that longing, like, oh, that sounds good, or that'd be fun. Kind of like craving for food, like, oh, pizza, pepperoni, or whatever the craving is. It had calmed, and I had found a peace in my loins that I didn't know existed. I didn't know was possible. Now, I will tell you, I didn't know that I didn't have peace before. I thought I was living a normal life. I thought like I was living the life that everybody around me and everybody in my religion and, just the normal life. That's what you do, right? You don't fast for long periods of time because that's crazy. And you have regular date nights where you make love to your husband because that's normal. And I had no idea that they were feeding off us like they do a lot of people because of ignorance, because people have no clue. And so there are a lot of ways that people do not know that beings are attaching to them or using them for their energy. Because let's just put this straight. Evil beings, dark beings that have chosen that have rejected Christ and chosen, you could say, the dark side, the dark path, the opposite side. They have rejected light, and they have rejected God and Christ. They cannot make their own energy, creation energy, light. They cannot make, like, God is perfect light and truth. And just think of light, pure, the light, right? Christ. The dark beings, they cannot generate their own. They have to steal. They have to steal from light beings that do generate it. And there are a lot of ways that light beings, like us, are being hacked into, and they are stealing our energy, and they are hurting us. And a lot of people are completely unaware because they are not physically seeing with their physical eyes anybody hurting them. And then they wonder why they feel so tired or or life is hard and stressed. And there's so many different ways that dark beings are attaching and siphoning energy from humans. Okay, we're children of God. We literally are born with the light of Christ inside of us. Okay, we are born since Jesus Christ gave his life to change the world. Since he did that great sacrifice, it changed the earth forever. Everyone born onto the earth after that time literally was born with the Christ light in them. They were born with it. The scriptures teach us this. So we as light beings literally generate this light, the power's inside of us. We don't have to search outside of us for it, because in much earlier times, you had to go to somewhere to try to obtain light. That's why they did sacrifices like of lambs or all these different things. They had all these different rituals to obtain light and blessing from God or whichever religion you're talking about, right? It was kind of external. Well, we're born with this Christ light inside of us. So we generate it. We are God's children. We generate this in ourselves. And we have the ability to increase our light more and more. You have to have pure intentions. That's what increases the light, is pure, selfless intention. Selfishness will not increase. If you have selfish intentions, you're not going to see your increase, right? So anyway, there's a lot of way humans are just hacked into, and their light and their energy, their life force is stolen by dark beings. And one of the ways that they do this is through sexual acts. What's it called? Sexual intercourse. Between husband and wife, between boyfriend, girlfriend. But that is one of the ways that they love to get and siphon and pull. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. We should be absolutely revolted. I mean, it just makes you sick. Doesn't it make you angry? So, as God has shown me ways that they were attaching and using, well, through my fasting and this period of purification I went through, all attachments were cut. All things were cut, released. I literally purified my lower centers. You have to keep fasting. It's not like a one-time, I fasted that 1 year, now I'm pure forever. Oh, no. So yeah, you can keep staying pure, especially through clean diet, clean eating. I know I've had plenty of times where I did a great fast and I felt amazing and I was pure. Then I ate junky food. Like I went back to junky food and I'm like, dang it, I'm gonna do another fast. But excuse me. So, but so after this period, I had found a purification in the lower centers that I'd never experienced, that I didn't even know existed. So, now let's see. I want to add on here. What else? There's so many different things I could talk about. I want to add on here. I wouldn't expect anybody to jump onto the path of celibacy. Some call it semen retention, the teaching of brahmacharya, which is the conserving all your God forces, conserving them instead of putting them out for pleasure. Even food, like conserving. So it's like you're stopping up that river and you're conserving your spiritual forces and welling it up so that when you do something, you're able to serve better and more and higher. You're able to serve in a higher way than just someone who's blah, 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 blah. I wouldn't expect anybody to follow this, but I do want to say there is some way to remit. Is it remit the word? Certain consequences, or you can, if indeed you're planning on having a date night or with your spouse or whatever, you can pray beforehand, and you can cast out beforehand, pray for Christ's light to shield and protect you, pray for angels, just however you pray for your angels to protect you, for Christ to protect you. There's a bit of, you can get a bit of protection. So yeah, I would just take it more seriously and pray. And like I say, do what you would do to purify a home type of thing. You can kind of bless that space a little bit more. Maybe after you could pray and ask God to show you and teach you if anything was able to get through or mess with you, or you could even try casting out and see if there was anything to cast out. I would just say be very, very prayerful and call in your angels for help. The hardest thing is, in the end, purifying the actual desire. So, and I know, like I say, this isn't for most people, but there is a point to where this is a good one. There is a point to where we take anything we desire and we give it to God. So it's kind of like the act of, I've heard this word describes it perfectly, the act of renunciation. It's where you say, you take your whole bunch of desires, because a lot of us have desires. I'm not just talking about sexual desires, but just desires in general. Like, I want this, I want that, I need this, I need that. So it's kind of this place where you take everything you want and everything you think you want and all your desires, and you literally give them to God. And then you say, I want nothing. Like, I don't desire a thing. Let me serve. It's kind of a higher place. I think eventually we all light beings want to move to that place eventually. Maybe not in this life. I totally understand that. Maybe not in this life. But I think in the end, the path of spirituality, the path of the Christ-like path of walking, I think you do end at this place where you have to cut all the attachments of the things that are keeping you in the material world in lower ways, like addictions. Like, imagine this, like giving up. I give up my addiction to this, like giving up food, giving up. And again, I know you're like, what? But you'll die. But do you see what I'm saying? It might just be a period of fasting, but in the end, our favorite TV shows, I think in the end, we take everything that we are, everything that we think we are, everything that we know, everything that we have. Think about it. And you literally put everything on the altar for God. And you say, I'm yours. I am yours. I give you my desires. I give you my wants. I give you my cravings. I give you everything. Like, I want to serve. And I think the best way we can serve is with a completely, like, open hands. Because if you have your own agenda about what you want your life to look like, let's be honest, we all have our own things of what we want. Like, I want this. I want that. I need this in my life. Like, I'll serve you, God, but I do need this. At what point do we say, I'm yours. I need nothing. I mean, look in the different scriptures and other spiritual texts where it says, take no heed what to eat or what to wear and just go and do my work. Or like in the New Testament, when the rich man, Jesus says to the rich man, give your stuff to the poor and follow me. I think that's an analogy that is actually really truthful in our current life, where it's like give it all to God. Give it all to God. If we really want to serve, I think we actually have to face ourselves. Why do I want this? Why do I want this food? Why do I want to make love? Why? What's at the heart? What's at the heart of and again, I know a lot of people would say, marriage books say this and marriage books say that. Well, this is out of any marriage manual. It's the world we live in. It is a norm. I know. It's the world we live in, but eventually we spiritualize our being to higher levels and higher levels. And our earth is not going to stay the way it is now. It's going to change. It's, again, lots of spiritual traditions and religions will all have their different teachings about how the earth, hey, I looked at 44444. That's so cool. how the earth is going to change to a higher condition. Okay? So it's in kind of a we're in a dark age, let's be honest. But the earth is going to transform into a higher place, a more pure place. And honestly, I think a lot of what the world is going through is the earth's form of purification. Like, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. But in the end, we actually do have to purify ourselves. That purifies the earth. That purifies each other. Anyway, so that's that. Is there anything else I needed to cover? Yeah, not going to be a popular video, and I totally understand. I know. But those are just a few. And I didn't even go deep. I could go even deeper. Maybe next video. But all right, thank you. I just wanted to share some of the things I'm learning and growing and for quite a few years now. All right, thank you.